All right, so we're coming at you here with a holiday special, the seasonal Christmas sleigh. The third annual Christmas sleigh. And what we got here, a sweet board set up with some awesome professionally made gingerbread houses. We are,
Candy cane forest.
Of course, that's the candy cane forest right next to the gumdrop swamp. And anyway, so it's going to be a few games we're probably going to play at 1850, and these are going to be some ITC missions. The first one up, we're going to be doing ITC Mission 4, which is going to be the scouring, yeah, and we've already put the objectives on the board. We're going to be playing Space Wolves versus Genestealer Cult. I'm looking forward to see how they clash. We got the different Maelstroms on the board. We'll go ahead and go over all that stuff. Genestealers are going to be setting up on this side of the board, and Space Wolves are going to be back there. It's not night fighting, we already rolled for that. And going over some of the Maelstroms here, we have, I guess, there's 2, and let's see here, we got 1, 6, we're kind of going out of order. I think that's 5, and then I think 3 is back there, and maybe we're missing 1.
Now, of course, 4, 5, and 6 are my armies.
Yes.
1, 2, and 3.
Right, so that's Space Wolves, Genestealer Cults 1, 2, and 3. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and show you the list here. Check them out and then we'll get all set up. So this is the 1850 points of Genestealers. We're running the Insurrection formation, so this is 3 different formations or detachments. And I'm gonna try to get this all straight here. So we have a 20-man unit of Genestealers here with the Patriarch. That's gonna be the Warlord. He has Mastery level 2 and 2 Familiars to give him a couple extra attacks. And it gets a little complicated running this many Genestealer Cult units in different formations. I'm trying to separate it out as best I can. We have the Brood Cycle, and the Brood Cycle is going to contain, I believe it's 3 units of the Acolytes and then 1 unit of Hybrid Metamorphs, and I put that guy in the Metamorph one to kind of make him stand out. And then they also, I think they have the 20-man unit of Genestealers back there as well. And then the cool formation, the Subterranean Uprising, which lets them modify their Cult Ambush, getting some 6s hopefully so they can first turn assault. We have 2 units of Acolytes as well as a unit of Hybrid Metamorphs. And then I actually threw in 3 units of Aberrants there. And so hopefully this will be a bit more competitive list. I should also mention, because they're not on here, I do have 2 Neophyte units as well for the, I believe it's the Brood Cycle has them in it, so that's a 20-man unit. So anyways, should be a bit more competitive list for the Genestealer Cult. Looking forward to playing with them. We'll see how they do. We're going to go over to the Space Wolves now.
So I'm trying something new out today. This is my, I used to play Space Wolves all the time, and I'm coming back to them to see if we can't get a little action with the Wolfen. So I'm running the, what is it, the Wolfen Murder Pack formation, which is 3 5-man squads of Wolfen. Each one is decked out with 2 Thunderhammer Storm Shields, 2 Frost Axes, and 1 dual Wolf Claws. We got a Land Raider, the Cat is actually a Wolf Lord on a Thunder Wolf. He's joining this Thunder Wolf pack here of 4. And we've got 2 minimum size Grey Hunter squads, each one in a Heavy Bolter Razorback. And then for fun, we're taking Bjorn the Felt-Handed in a drop pod, and we're going to be giving that drop pod, I think, to one of the Wolfen packs. And the other one's going to go on the Land Raider, and we'll just see how far we can get before we get eaten up.
All right, so we are all set up here. The Genestealers did their Subterranean sneak attack, the Cult Ambush table. And so anyways, we're kind of all over the table. I only got 3 units to roll 6s back there. And played it a little bit risky. We've got some Acolyte right there that might charge that Rhino. And then we got a unit of Aberrants back here looking to take on some of those Wolves. That unit did not roll 6. I think they got a 5, but of course they don't shoot. So I do have that guy there that's conferring a +1 to their Feel No Pain. So he's just kind of hanging out to help out those other guys that might charge in.
There's no Feel No Pain against Thunderhammer.
It's true, yeah. I can't really do much there. But Anyways, so we're about to get round 1 on its way, but here's the big question. We need to do a CZ initiative roll. The Space Wolves are going to roll for it. They get a 5 up because Bjorn apparently gives them a little bit of a bonus there. I don't quite believe it. I might have to check the rule book on that.
He's
I don't
an
know.
ancient tactician.
Okay.
Ancient.
So it'll be Genestealer's luck here that they probably get seized on and this goes downhill quick. So we'll go ahead, go for it.
There we go.
That is not a 5 or 6. Genestealers are celebrating. We're going to go ahead. Round 1, Genestealers. So we're at the end of round 1 for the Genestealer cult. We're about to move on to Space Wolves. The Genestealers moved on with Cult Ambush. Their Maelstrom currently is to hold Maelstrom Objective 2 and 3. So this is
My 3.
Yeah, the Space Wolf 3 and then the 2 over here, and they have that currently. Woo! And then we are doing the mysterious objectives, and they're both, I believe, scatterfields. This one actually
was nothing.
No, that was a scatterfield. This one was nothing here.
Oh.
There we go. So, anyways, we are. We got some 6s, so we did get some first turn charges. We had the 2 Acolyte hybrids over here, and they charged those rhinos and actually took them out with their rending. Yep, tore them up. So might slow the Space Wolves down a little bit. We did also have a unit of Aberrants that was right here, and they also got a 6, so they charged those Thunderwolves. And I did put 3 wounds on his Warlord right there. So, I mean, they did some work before they went out, and of course they did die. You know? So anyways, we're at the end of turn 1 for the Genestealer cult. We're about to move on to the Space Wolves turn 1. We'll go ahead and see what they can do in retaliation.
Here we have Space Wolves turn 1. So first thing we did was roll for Maelstrom and ended up with hold objective 1, which my objective 1 is here, and kill a unit. So second we had a drop pod auto come in with the drop pod assault, which those Wolfen took part in. So they're popped down right in the middle of the Genestealer cult's face. Of course, I can't do anything this turn. But that's okay, because the other Wolfen murder pack could, and they Wolfen murder packed these guys away.
Aberrants.
Aberrants. Yeah, Aberrants are gone, and one squad of the Acolytes got shot up by Bjorn. He wanted to charge him, but he's just too good at shooting. Everything else just kind of moved up. The Grey Hunters, since they couldn't really do much else, they're just foot slogging across the board. And the Thunderwolves are on their way up, Land Raiders on their way up, and we're just getting ready for holly jolly orgy of slaughter.
So we are at the end of Genestealer cult turn 2. Their Maelstrom was to hold objective 1, which they are currently doing. It's right there, and went for destroy an enemy unit. So you probably saw before that those Wolfen came down in that drop pod right there and got out. I had my Genestealers as well as my hybrid Metamorphs, and then also those Neophytes jump out of the Goliath there. All 3 assaulted the Wolfen, and it was pretty brutal. Those Wolfen are definitely something to be scared of. And so we did take them out. As you can see, they are not there, but they did remove quite a few Genestealers as well as a lot of the Neophytes, keeping those guys just out right now because, of course, they could potentially jump off the board and gain some of those Genestealers back. We'll see. So it was a pretty good turn 1. I took off most other units. So most of everything else from the Genestealer cult went back into the shadows, and they're going to jump on turn 3, which is kind of a nice little trick that they can do. So we'll go ahead and see what the Wolves can do on their turn 2.
Space Wolves turn 2 was not quite as interesting since most of the Genestealers hopped off the board. So all we basically did was move up. We moved, our objectives. We rolled for objectives 1, which my objective 1 is there. His objective 1's way back there, so I'm not getting that. And we went objective number 2. That's my objective number 2, and that's his objective number 2, which is right in there somewhere. So I'm looking good on Maelstrom. Couldn't really get much else done. Just sort of shifted around and got centralized, and took a couple pot shots at his guy sitting on number 1, and did a glance and a pen, but he cover saved the pen. So that's it for Space Wolves turn 2.
So we're at the end of Genestealer Cult turn 3 here, and I had the Maelstrom of kill an enemy unit and hold objective 3. I'm currently holding 2 objective 3s. I have this one over here, which is 6, and then I have this one back here. And so I did have some Genestealers pop on through Cult Ambush and kind of go across the board. I currently have one that went back into reserves. But it was a pretty good turn, got a lot of good rolling. So this unit of Hybrid Metamorphs killed one of his unit of, was it Grey Wolves, your troop choice?
Yeah, the Grey Hunters.
Grey Hunters. So killed the unit there. I also killed that drop pod to kill a unit. So I was able to take out 2. And then I had a pretty awesome combat with the Aberrants on this side. They came onto the board. I think they rolled a 6, so they were able to first turn charge, or I guess not first turn, but charge as they came on. I also had done their Primaris psychic power here, which reduces their initiative and weapon skill and attacks down by 1, which was really helpful. Killed his Warlord as well as 2 other Thunderwolves and lost just 1 Aberrant. So that was a pretty awesome turn. They're still locked in combat there. And anyway, so that was turn 3 for the Genestealer Cult. We're going to go ahead and move on to Space Wolves turn 3 and see how this shapes up.
This is the end of Space Wolves turn 3. So, we got some stuff done. Cool thing was we had the Land Raider move up, dump out some Wolfen. They charged the Goliath that was there and blew it up. Also, the other Goliath in the back corner is gone because the Land Raider shot him with his las cannons and made him blow up. Also did pretty good damage on the guys that were inside, just those, 6 are left.
Yeah, the Neophytes. Yeah.
And then we also took some shots at the guys back in this corner. We hit them pretty hard, and they're surprisingly hard to make break. They're leadership 8, so I thought that was going to go better. What didn't go so well is my Thunderwolves. Man, they just couldn't get much done against the Aberrants, who did work this game, so good for them. My objectives, I'm trying to remember what I scored. I was
2 and 4.
It was 2 and 4, and I scored both of those.
Yeah, thus far.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I scored 2 on the start of my turn, though.
Yes, you scored 2, but you're going for Maelstrom 2 and 4.
I went for 2 and 4. I was going for 2 and 3 last time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of feeling a little uphill, but there's still a lot out there to work with. So.
So, Genestealer Cult turn 4 is over. It was actually a really quick turn. My Maelstrom was to hold objective 2 and 3. I am on a 3 right there. I have no one on a 2. There's just no way to cover it. And I wanted to pull off most of my units so that they could regenerate with that formation special rule that they have. So all I've got right now is a couple Acolyte hybrids. I think there's a Metamorph hybrid unit right there too. And then another Acolyte hybrids right there. And the Neophytes kind of holding the fort. The Wolfen are going to just slaughter them, no doubt. And then I pulled everything else off the board. So I've got kind of a bunch of stuff down there waiting to come back on.
What did you score at the beginning of your turn?
I did score I think 2 points. Let me see here. So what I needed last time was to hold objective 3 and kill a unit. And so I got that. So two Maelstrom points. So I'm actually down 1, and I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to keep in the game with that one. So it is actually a close game. We have had a lot of units die. I think currently I have the Game Hunter, I've got Slay the Warlord, but it's actually a really close game. Those Wolfen are pretty terrifying, so I'm just trying to stay away from them and that Land Raider, and killing the units that I can. Of course, Bjorn is looking like he wants to hunt me down. But we'll go ahead, move over to Space Wolves turn 4 and see what happens next.
Okay, so it's funny because it's not a super productive round as far as killing units, but a really productive round for Maelstrom. So, Genestealer Cult needed to hold 2 and 3. 2 and 1? Yeah, 2 and 3. 2 they couldn't get to. 3 they just had this one squad on, and we shot them enough to make them break. So it did happen. They failed their leadership, fell back 10 full inches. So I knocked them off of that. My Maelstrom objectives this turn were to kill a unit, which the Wolfen rolled up and killed the Neophytes, and then to hold my objective, well, any objective 1, but I've got this squad sitting on 1 for now. So pretty good turn for the Space Wolves. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay, so we're at the end of Genestealer Colt turn 5, and the Maelstrom that I rolled was I needed to kill 2 units. And this game is actually winding up to real close. A lot of my units came back on the board. It is turn 5, so with Scouring, I'm just kind of assuming it might end. And so I try to drop guys on as many Maelstroms as I could. But the Aberrants, they took off one of the, was it Grey Wolves there? Grey Hunters. We're on that unit, so I denied him one, and I'm going to be hopefully, well, I did pick up kill 1 unit, so I'll be getting 1 Maelstrom for turn 5 if it goes on anyways. It's a close game. I think he's going to take me on Maelstrom, but we'll see on the primary how this is going to go. You can see I'm kind of got Genestealers loaded up here, holding down some other Maelstroms I might contest. And so we'll see how this plays out, but it's winding down to be a real close game. It's been a lot of fun. The Wolfen are very scary. And so anyways, we'll see how this Christmas sleigh winds up. We're going to go to turn 5 Wolfen. We're going to wrap a victory.
Okay, so we ended up, this is the end of turn 5 for Space Wolves. So it could be the end here. We needed to destroy an enemy unit and hold objective number 2. We managed to wipe out the little neophytes that were over here, and we are holding that currently with the Wolfen. We decided to be pansies and run away from the giant squad of Genestealers over there, as well as we also ran away from those ones. The Wolfen just scooting down the table. Bjorn did wipe out the squad of acolytes over there. I'm getting all of them mixed up. But you know, we had a pretty good turn. They did some killing. They got the objectives that they need to do. They did the deed. Barumpa pum pum. All right, we're gonna roll to see if it ends or goes on. So what does it end on?
I think it's a 3-up.
So 3-up. It keeps going.
Yep.
3-up. It keeps going. It's over. Game over. All right,
we'll total everything and come back.
So we took a look at the scores, and the Genestealer Colt was finally able to pull off a win against some Space Marines. This time the Wolves, though. And the way it came down is Space Wolves won on Maelstrom, and the Genestealer Colt won on the primary on the Scouring. They were able to pull that off. And then what it came down to was the tertiary. And so I had Slay the Warlord, we both had Linebreaker, and I had Big Game Hunter. And so just by 2 points, so this is one of the closer games we've had with 2, I think, more competitive lists that we've played. The Genestealer Colt running the Insurrection Force, and then the Space Wolves running the Wolfen.
You know, as I'm thinking about it now, I guess I was kind of setting up for one more turn. I should have been a little more ballsy with trying to take out some of these big units that were sitting on objectives.
Yeah.
Instead, I kind of played it safe and it bit me. Scouring is really hard to win against Genestealer Colt since they can just drop in wherever they want. You got 6 objectives out here. It was a blast though, man. Those Wolfen, that was my first time running them, and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they definitely were pretty scary. I mean, it was surprising going up even against one unit that I killed. I took a whole unit of 20 Genestealers, including 2 other units of like the Acolytes, and I was just able to kill them. It was actually pretty close, and
they're a lot more survivable than I thought they would be. Because of that feel no pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you've only got, you know, Storm Shields are awesome, but I only have 2 per squad, which I think is kind of the way people are running them. But the feel no pain, man, don't look past feel no pain. That is a handy little thing to have.
And I gotta say, I think, you know, tell me what you think, but I think the MVPs of the game had to be the unit of 4 Aberrants that killed a whole pack of Thunderwolves.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was pretty ridiculous. But anyways,
Is this the same unit?
Yeah, I think that's the hero unit right there, actually. Yeah, that was the MVPs. They took out another unit there too.
They also flipped double Maelstrom here and ended up getting you an extra Scouring point there.
Yep, exactly. So this was the 3rd annual Christmas sleigh, and Genestealer Colt took it home this time. But thanks for watching.